Hey, I'm Scott Woodward. I'm two-time Moscone Cup MVP, and you're watching Railbirds TV.
Well, hello everyone. I'm Jeremy Jones with Railbirds TV, coming to you with a 2020 Derby City One Pocket match. It's the fifth round between John Morra. You can see Josh Filler, his opponent, sponsored by Predator Q's, Gabriel Tables, and Andy Cloth. Three wins and one loss, and I lost in the second round to Scott Frost, so nothing to be ashamed of there. John Morra, Mucci, Town, GD Cases, and Jam Up Apparel, and 4-0 to start this 2021 Pocket Division, and that's always pretty sweet. John's won the lag here and will break in game one. It's a race of three, and you can see again Josh has a loss, so he can't afford another if he wants to advance on to round number 6 here in the one pocket. John Morra, who's got a banner up here on the wall in southern Indiana for I believe it's the taking a guess at this, I know it's the Banks, maybe 2012, something like that. He defeated Shane Van Boning in the finals, and funny to see a different game here, but also playing from the other side here now, left-handed the last, another guess 2 years maybe, a little more maybe, a little less. I think probably at least 2 years, but amazing. And I think it'll probably happen if John continues just too great of a player, but to win a division here right-handed and then another left-handed, that would just be probably just one of the most amazing things in our sport that would have ever happened. Now Josh, the cue ball again, a little short coming up the table, so it's going to leave Josh a pretty good opportunity and a lot of choices here. This is where you want to be aggressive. That's a nice shot there. I like that a lot. I like that a lot because you could be so accurate. First off, you have a lot of cover using the 2-ball, and it's an easier way to get the cue ball up. And also what happens is when you think about playing the ball back under on the stack there, well, that ball on the bottom rail never gets moved. So you're never giving up really that cross-corner bank, most likely anyways. You may give up a cross-corner combination, but overall, that's another nice shot there. Now here's that cross corner we were talking about that Josh is going to be able to play and should be pretty accurate. Maybe not making it, but putting it over the hole. Now this is where if you don't feel like you can keep it on the other side of the stack, well, here you bring the cue ball up into the stack lightly and let the ball slow the cue ball down more than you trying to lay it on the rail behind the stack. Oh, you hit it great. And you hit the cue ball maybe even better. And you would think that's a trapping shot. You'd rather it hang, and maybe he's correct there, but I think he'll be able to still do some type of positive shot. And, you know, these guys are great. Even when you trap them, they tend to get out of it a lot of times. So I'd like to still have made that, I think. Try and progress the game on a little bit. Either or. Now John will probably feather this ball and drop to the bottom rail, or he could kick out of this to the bottom rail. Looks to me he can hit the 7, is it? And still not give up a cut on the 2. Now, you don't want to give up some type of bank on the 8 or something either, so this is important. Is he kicking at this 2-ball? Is he crossing the 10 with English, like kicking to the bottom rail, trying to make the cue ball run up table? Like that. He was looking for a thicker hit, though. And I didn't mind the shot at all. One thing about that shot is when you're trying to protect balls that are near your hole on your side, and you just see John don't really have much. So when you think about that kind of shot, the 10 was never going to come across all the way to his pocket. He was just trying to keep pressure on Josh, which I understand that. But normally, again, that's normally when you have a few balls near your hole, or some real problems that Josh would have to deal with from up table. But you could see there isn't a whole lot. Now Josh could 3-rail this ball up and down the table and just hold the cue ball right there. Pretty good speed if it gets past the side. Remember that one, if you feel confident, you can almost always go ahead and hit that one a bit. that third rail really eats up a lot of the momentum of the object ball. Now John will drop the cue ball below the 10 off the 1, I believe. Is he looking at that same kick bank? On the 10, it sits a little better here, but still hard-pressed to think you're going to get it over and near the hole, and even more so in the pocket. Okay, that's a nice shot. Left him a little funny on the bank on the 10. It does go, but really kind of giving up your position if you shoot at that. Probably just something ticking off the 2, coming 1 rail into the pack. Yeah, there you go, deep into that pack there. That usually makes things very difficult. Sometimes you get a little ticky where you can't even escape with a kick shot. Like say he would have rubbed the 12 there and just crept up behind the 6 a bit more. Now John can be a little aggressive with this and open up a ball on his side while he also sends the cue ball back behind the 10. That worked out real nice. Now, if you're moving the 10 to get him back in the pack, it's pretty safe. You got to worry about maybe giving up a long rail bank on the 8 or the 1. I'd be careful of that. Otherwise, I would shoot through the 3, or if I could see the 3, I think, and put John way up table on the in rail. If you're moving this ball away, maybe kicking to the stack. Well, you hit it pretty nice. Got to watch out about giving up that 8 or the. Okay, I was going to say the 1 also. There you can see kind of what I meant is he's kind of helping John out, moving the ball away from his pocket a little further, and dangerous doing that. If John sits nice on a bank here, he can bank this in and draw back for another bank. Okay, even like this. Also, when you put the guys very close to the balls, if things don't go right, you could give up a shot that's fairly free, and the guys are going to hit it so accurately. So possibly maybe should have shot through the 3 there, but got to give a lot of credit to John hitting the ball well. He's a little funny on this ball. I think he's going to shoot it, but does he really care anything towards his hole? It's pretty thin on it. Now the 6 is going to hold the cue ball up, so possibly the 10 comes down far enough for a shot, or is that the 12? Excuse me. Yeah, that's what I was worried about right there. I thought the 6 might hold the cue ball, but it didn't. And I think with draw, he doesn't come away really with much either. And the shot became more difficult, a little more missable. Now he's almost got a free bank here with everything kind of doubled up. Maybe not. The 11-13 may be playable. John doesn't look like he's going to play safe here. It looks like he may be trying to go 3 rails back for position in between the 5-3 with the cue ball. Got to kind of smooth it. If you hit it too hard, it lengthens out. But he caught the 5 for position, so. He's got maybe a 13-6 combination. He could go forward and maybe catch the 9 and open things up, but hate to kind of roll the ball, when you don't have to. Could be the shot, that's for sure. So John now has a 4-2 lead in game 1. Just joining us, I'm Jeremy Jones with Railbirds TV. The 2020 Derby City match. It's the 5th round of the 1 pocket. He's got a couple options. He can hold for a bank on the 9 or probably the 6. If he's a little straight here, he could draw back for the 11 if it's doable. What's that 314 look like up table? That would make you fall on a lot of balls nice. Okay, he had a little angle here, so now there's going to be some decisions. Looks like to me if he goes forward, he probably catches enough of the 6 to avoid the side. As long as he catches the 6, he can't really scratch in the side, I don't think. And he could possibly come one rail across for position. He could kind of just ice the ball and draw up into the 6 and probably clear enough for a bank, but if he punches it, he catches 6 and could go towards the side. So it's kind of funny here as far as like trying to get more balls. Can't quite draw it. That's the combination I was wondering a moment ago. It's fairly maybe playable from the center of the table. You could get in a free position on it, but it looks like he's drawing this, trying to put a lot on it. Or is he trying to go by it 3 rails? Okay, he just cinched it, took his lead. Now, one thing he could have done with that is if he was thinking that, hit that a little harder, because, I mean, he was going to be pretty accurate and try and move some balls up table a little bit, but get one more maybe on his side. Yeah, here you don't want to move the 6. You want to keep that covered up for at least a shot or two until you get a ball or two more out of play or more on your side. Josh has already made one real nice one on the short rail. It was tight. So yeah, here you make sure you're not giving up anything. That first shot or two after the run is so important to really handcuff your opponent, and that's why thinking about where you're going to leave yourself when the run's going to get cut off is so important as well. I would probably curve my ball at the 13 there and try to keep some position. He's taking a 6-2 deficit here in game 1 and moving balls away from his side up table. May have left John almost a bank. John's looking, wow, this is surprising to me here. I think you move all 3 of them balls here, the 11, 14, and 3, all clear if you just shove them up into it and bring the cue ball back. This looks real funny to try and make it unless you're stopping your ball, and you could easily give up across corner stopping the cue ball. You go forward, it looks like you may be threatening scratching. Oh, even worse. So he played a pretty conservative position shot on his 6th ball when he made his run, that being John. And then kind of changed it up right there with that 2-railer because, of course, it turned out bad because he caught that ball. He hit it awfully tight. But the worst thing, I mean, that wasn't the worst thing. That was the worst thing that could have happened, excuse me. But there were a lot of other things that you could have hit the ball well and still given up a shot. And a straight shooter in Josh Filler. Gotten a little thin here on the 14. Now the 3 goes. I don't think the 13 goes. I was wondering if he might carry position here trying to do something. I think that was totally intended to go by those balls because both the 2 and the 11 go, I believe. And he looks pretty perfect with the cue ball there to come one rail just with some left spin. I believe you got to kind of float it past the 5. And that being the 6 up on the top rail doesn't really give you a 3-rail angle to come behind them balls. It's very secure. Josh likes to punch his ball a little bit more, stun it, you might say. That's a better way to say it. Rather than a heavy spin here and trusting coming. Yeah, you see how he's stunned off of it. And that's why you lose speed sometimes. It's a stun shot to create the angle. Sometimes you can get away from you. Josh, I've talked about many times that I think he's plays the stun a lot of times when you have the choice, and he's probably the best or one of the best I've ever seen. Okay, trying to bounce that ball out, but he got in a nice spot here on the cross corner, I think. If not, he's got to be very careful. The position of the 6. I might kick this ball if I didn't have anything else. The kick is pretty safe, I think. One real kick, try to make it. Oh, he could bank it, excuse me. You can't pass that for the bank, and I think he left it in a pretty tough spot to try and bank at his pocket if that's John. Funny little angle all the way around here. Soft kick to the bottom rail. Probably want to kick it with speed and try and get it up table. He's going to try and cross this, and going to need an awful lot of inside English to have any chance. And spinning into it, I believe, with the inside. Maybe he scratches off this ball. Looks like he's trying to hit it with straight or maybe even outside, but I think that's going to kiss as well. Oh, wow, what a great shot. And that's the scratch I was talking about also. With straight high ball. But he hit it well. He created a little speed, a little jump on the cue ball to beat that kiss. And man. So Filler, after a 6-2 deficit, now in a commanding position. I've talked about a lot of times where, 3 balls on the table, great players. It's not as out of line as you'd think, but okay, let's see what he does. Obviously, I think he doesn't really know the shot playing both balls. Was he trying to skim both these balls here? Sometimes if you're kind of new to the game, that looks like a pretty good shot. Hey, let me rub both these balls and run the cue ball up table, but this is a touchy one too. He could easily give up a free shot here. Like here on the 6 maybe. John should definitely look at this because the 6 can have speed and he can pull his ball one rail between the 8 and 13 and get position. He's close to it. Lays perfect, I think. It's not a big underdog to make it at all. Yeah, this looks very good to me. He can go behind the 8 if he wanted. Now, that's a little more dangerous on giving up a shot, I think. He can play it either way. Position on the 13 or the 11. Hit it perfect, it looks like. What a great hit. Showing a little of those bank skills I talked about earlier. Won this bank division here at the Derby, I think in 2012. So we've had some changes in this, big swings in this game. We'll see if John can continue another. Pretty smart to play for the bank. A lot of people try to pull that froze ball back behind the 8, and if you're real close, if a little closer to it, a little less angle, I agree with it. But when you're a little steep, just go ahead and play for the cross corner. Again, talked about his strength, banks the ball really well. Looks good. Ooh. So we're going to get to see what John's going to do with the 2 balls on the spot. It's amazing how that happens in the same game a lot, especially with the great players. I think John will shoot the shot, trying to make the top ball. Kind of force through, throw through the bottom ball, let the bottom ball double bank. Oh no, he's going to play. Looking at something else. Just a safety, I guess, pushing through the object ball. Top ball. Okay, now he's can do it from there as well. If he hits a high ball, he's just playing a safety, and that looks like what he's doing. Cue ball about on the first diamond here to the right. Okay, he's just got to shoot off the 8 here and bank the 8 over, trying to not let him see the 8. Pull the cue ball down a little bit on the side rail. Maybe you can come to the end rail. You're not going to give up a straight back on the 5. Think you're okay there. Object here is to try and not let him see the 8 up table. Let the 5 snooker him, if you can. He's looking at crossing this maybe on the 8, going up table. I think he's going, hits it that thick, he's going towards the side pocket with the cue ball, unless he draws it now. And if you draw it, hard to play really good speed usually. Okay, this is going to give up a free straight back, I think. Yeah. He put the 8 ball in a nice place, but imagine if he drew the cue ball towards John's pocket there, not letting him see the 8, and not giving him a great long railer on the 5 either. So, but now John's got a cross corner. It could give up a little bit of a cross corner in return if the speed's not good. And he's a little thin, I think, just a little. Really trying to make that cue ball get up table so he doesn't give up a return shot. You'll see that that's the tendency there, trying to look at missing a ball. That's generally in a lot of pool. A lot of the object balls are missed just because of concern of the cue ball. That wasn't easy by any means, though. Now he's got a cross corner here for sure. The one I kind of like, even though maybe not, but the 8 ball and that corner that he's standing near concerns me as far as giving up a shot if you go for this cross corner. You really kind of need to spin it to kind of slow the cue ball down. Now he could almost go rail first and cross corner it as well and then come tight with the cue ball. Not a shot you'd recognize right offhand, especially when you have the other option. Just hitting the ball naturally. And the thing that's slowing him down is not the shot, but where the cue ball is going to wind up. And you really need to spin it. You don't want to just draw for this ball. Can't hit it flat because you'll have a lot of speed on the cue ball. He hit it pretty well. He really dug into that ball. He got a nice kiss there, putting the 8 in a little bit of a funny position, it looks like. Really killing the cue ball as well. I think I like the kick here. You can hit this with a high ball as well. Just shoot through it and follow the cue ball to the side rail at that. But I think I like that shot right there. When you're moving balls away like that, pay attention to how you hit it and how they end up table, because it's, you turn the table around, well, you're kind of can see kicking that ball at your hole, if the shot sits different up table. I would just shoot through the 5 here, I think, anyway. I don't want to give up a free one. Just let the 5 tumble 2 rails softly towards the 8, and the cue ball just go forward a little bit. That's okay, too. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, a little funny here. John's got to be careful here. Don't like running the ball very much off of his left side of the 5. He leaves Filler close to them balls, which is maybe the case, but he's got to watch out for a 2-railer on the 5. Okay, that turned out pretty nice. Now is Filler going to make the 5 and make the 8 and put him on the back of the 5? More of the, like that. Oh. He's giving up a spot shot, I believe. He's giving up maybe a cross corner on the 5 also, but I believe the spot shot's available. It's close. Okay, John's looking at the 5 ball. Gotta cut it a bit. Yeah, he's going to shoot this righty. Is that legal? Just kidding. Really trying to pinch the ball here. Hold it maybe in the center of the table. Yeah, he was really worried about the cue ball there. Tell you what, not bad. Filler again, try to hide the 5. You bank the 5, one rail up on your side, let the cue ball hit the side rail and kill behind the 8. Kind of froze. The thing is, you don't want to go over there too much, maybe the first diamond, because you don't want to leave John a long rail bank. Played the cut. Nice shot. Thought he hit it really well, and it looked like, from there he could possibly win. John, knowing that even though he needs 2 and I need 1, still a pretty even ball game the way the balls are positioned, so he's got to take advantage of this open shot. Probably do or die unless he hangs it. That's a nice shot. So John Morra squeezes out game 1. Jeremy Jones with Railbirds TV. It's a round 5 match. John Morra and Josh Filler. Filler now to break in game 2, and Filler's got a loss in this event. So the pressure's on for the German. We'll see how he can break him here in his first opportunity. Pretty nice hit. He got the cue ball up very high. Now that can be dangerous, but he got the balls to open pretty well. The 8's a little funny. 6 is not bad. He's going to check to see if the 1 plays. If the 1 doesn't go by the 15, he could possibly bank the 6 out his pocket here. Not sure the shot I like so much just yet. Double up looks pretty nice though. John's gonna. Okay, I think he's stunning the ball up in the corner. Playing maybe a 4-ball bank combination like that. Trying to splatter him, towards his hole. I think Filler will look at this 8-5 combination pretty quickly. Looks like to me with the 4-11, he can't go wrong here. He can give up a bank, but I think he can somewhat hold the ball on the side rail there if he spins it. Now, if he just shot it. Yeah, pretty unlucky there. Made a heck of a shot. Wouldn't want to disrupt much here. I like the way the balls are laying. I just coast the 11 over and lay the cue ball where the 2 really covers a lot of balls up, maybe. Yeah, it's going to be a little easier for. It's got to worry about the long rail banks also, that being Josh. There's a lot of double up situations up, and so a long rail bank that kind of let a few things get away from him last game when John got a few things started. Of course, John hit him very well also. That makes a huge difference. I think I like shooting the 3 up into the 1, going to the rail and kicking that 15 away. It's a pretty big ball, pretty easy to do. I think you can hold the ball also to where you're not giving up the 2 ball. Now he's going to play a little more safe. Is he moving all 3 of these and sticking the ball? He's playing it very mild. Not bad. All right, Josh needs to go up table here. He needs to bank the 1 with some inside English. Even if the 12 goes, you get him froze up in the middle of the rail, I think it's okay. Maybe not. I mean, maybe that's a little too dangerous, but the 9 and 11's jumbled up. The only ball it looks like he can really get on. He could crash into them balls, I guess, from the end rail, but nothing wrong with that either. Again, I like that same shot coming off the 3, going to the rail, kicking the 15 out lightly. I think you can move a few balls. You might give up a long rail bank, but John will probably come off the 6 and drop him down on the side rail there, and nothing wrong with that either. But the game, excuse me, it looks like it's shaping up. Okay, he's trying to kill it. Give up a little bit of his position there. And on that shot, just lay Josh on the side rail. You don't really have a ton by your hole there, and again, you're not really protecting something so important. And let Josh shoot away and see what he does. From that rail, a lot of players, when they don't have many options, the 13's really covering up a lot of options, they'll make little mistakes, give you little openings. People always want to freeze them to the ball, where you freeze Josh to the ball with nothing near your hole, Josh is going to clip the 15 away or kick behind, and there's not really going to be much of an issue. You almost kind of force his hand. But when you lay him on the rail behind there where the 13's a big eclipse, there's not much for him to work with. Well, now he's got to shoot away. And sometimes he'll mishit a ball or make a little bit of a bad decision. When I say that, I mean just players in general, not necessarily Josh Fielder or John Morra. Little 2 rail kick here. Kind of like what's going on here. Now, this is the process of the game, but you can also see Josh has got a few more balls near his hole. So he is actually trying to protect a few more things where John doesn't really have much. This is worth a kick shot for sure. Just go to the bottom rail, short rail where he's at. Do that. That looks actually pretty good. Oh no, he's giving up a cut shot, and John can reach it now. You know, he can reach anything. Oh no, he didn't. Sometimes those camera angles can sure fool you. John is going to look at a double up position though, where he can long rail the 12, sending the cue ball up in the top right. There's one better than 50%, I think, to hang it and make it. I overcut it a little bit again, trying to promote the cue ball movement, which is purely understandable. I mean, that's got to happen, getting the cue ball at a nice position. And he can't really shoot that 3 unless he's going to overcut it quite a ways, and then he's got to worry about his speed being very good not to come up and sell up that ball nearest John's hole. Oh, what a great shot. He played it heavy. Kid's a genius. Really sees a lot of things, Josh Fielder. Really a little unlucky, you would think, not to come away with another open shot. He's really just got to deal with this 12 ball. Get that out of there. Everything else you can really kind of opens up the table where you can go a lot of places with the cue ball if John doesn't get something back over on his side. I just pocket this 12 up in the corner and roll the cue ball forward, I think. Now you got to find the spot up on the rail to where it's pretty safe, where you don't leave it too easy of an escape. It's okay too, but again, you have to be aware of your double up situation in the upper right hand corner, and that's playing anybody, but especially when you're playing guys that hit the ball so well. So John's going to immediately look to see if it's the 10 again and come one rail cross, or if it's the 12 that's staring him right in the face. Looks like he just put his cue in his right hand for a second. No. Very good speed. Josh has got a kiss shot on the 11 he could play. Don't really think he gets him shape though. I think he's got to draw off of the 7 a little bit. If he can hit it with a high ball now, he's okay. That's what he's doing. He's playing the kiss shot with a high ball. He's stunning. Oh, nice shot. He's going to get himself doubled up here and wonder what the heck. He had to create some cue ball movement, and he did. Really, really unfortunate not to get a shot, and he's in a jam. Yeah, what do? Do you come? I mean, this is about as bad as it gets. I mean, if he makes a great shot and comes off the 14 and pockets the 12, he's going to give up a bank on the 15, it looks like, or come up and sell out the 2. This is where I would be looking to use a double up, maybe back on John somewhere. Is there somewhere? No. I mean, the 9's a very difficult place to double him up. Off the 2, you can't do that either. So. You could almost cut the 14 towards your hole and run the cue ball up where he's standing now, a couple rails. That would be okay, knowing you're not going to make the 14, but looks like he could crash into the 2. A bad spot here. Not sure what I would do here. Shoot the 4 and put him behind the 1, but most likely he's got more places to run than you do. Like to try and get something done here. Like I said, then maybe, I don't know. Here's the ball count, 3-0, so maybe you come off the 14 hard, pocketing the 12, and maybe you go around, kiss the 2 or something like that. And maybe you come off the 12 and get to the end rail and make him shoot a long shot. It's just difficult. I know he's looking at playing maybe pocketing the 8, but that's another ball John could run. Putting him behind the 1, is that what he's thinking? Oh, he played combination. Oh, what a nifty shot again, and very well done, hitting that little bitty path between the 6 and the 1. Pretty nice shot. Now John can bank this back towards maybe the 6, or excuse me, the 7 or the 14, but draw the cue ball 1 rail up the side rail there. Yeah, I'm not sure really. I think that's about all he's got, really. Take a stab, maybe bank it off the 7, comes off the 2 towards the hole, or the 2 goes towards the hole. Draw the cue ball up the side rail. It's like that there. Try and catch the 2. I mean, and it wasn't so much as you had to be very creative and you needed to be aggressive there. That was just kind of like the safest shot. And I think it may have ended up laying okay. Give him just a dead cross corner here. Yeah. Filler now needs 4, and he's a little off angle on all of them. The 8's a little straight. 4, he's got to come across it. It appears the 11 goes, or the ball that's just left of the spot. So. Josh playing for 2 to tie this match at 1 game apiece. And Josh is playing for his 1 pocket tournament life. Got a loss here in the 2020 Derby City Classic 1 pocket division. And it's 1 apiece. John Morra won the lag, so breaking now in game number 3. John staying consistent as game 1, breaking to the lower left-hand corner pocket, if you're looking at your screen. Nice stroke there. That cue ball should get up. Nice hit. Let him see the 12, so probably something like that. That Josh will shoot that ball away and try and stun the cue ball a little bit forward, probably. I'm not sure he can shoot the 12 into the 11. If he could do that, he could maybe get creative pinning the cue ball in the back of the 9, trying to get something going at his pocket. He played. Oh, wow. Look at this shot here. Get you some of that. But I tell you, he likes to stun the cue ball, and a lot of the power shots in 1 pocket, especially around the stack and getting out of certain things, being aggressive while trying to play safe at the same time, has a lot to do with stunning that ball. And so does banking the ball, trying to make it hold the line sometimes. So keeps playing this game, I'm sure, just like 9-ball and 8-ball and straight pool, he's going to excel. Looking at a kick shot here that, with that second ball on the side rail, it makes me feel a little better about the kick shot, because you can catch the 12 and not necessarily have to give up a bank. Just like that. Now, with the 9 staying on the low rail, if you catch the 12, the 9's never going to move. So, like that, if you catch it on the top. Can he bank the 2 here? Slide off both those balls to the side rail? Is that possible? Looks like to me, maybe kicking this ball with a lot of heavy right English, and it's a hard proposition to try and get a ball near your hole when you got to kick into 2 balls like that. And that's the thing, you normally don't get much pace on the ball. So Josh has got a lot of freedom here, banking the 11 over, and drawing the cue ball into the pack and just kind of trapping him here. He's got Kiss off this ball, trying to make the 9 here. Wow. Well, a la Ronnie Allen there, I think. Maybe the guy that mentored me in this game, Jersey Red. Sitting really nice is the way he liked it. All right, he might brush into the 10 and the 11 lightly. Oh, he went by it. Okay. He didn't like it. But he wanted a lot of angle there. I think he got snookered. Close. He'd like to add a lot of angle there, though. Josh, a very, very solid straight pool player, knows going into that stack. shoot this 11-2 combo if he can reach it lefty. Could bank the 8 and drop down, I think, for the ball on the low rail. Yeah, I would have had to look at this shot for sure. Shooting the 11 away. Oh, good touch. Watch out for the 2-railer on the 8, though. A lot of times you just got to see, hey, I'm going to leave it there. What am I going to leave? That's just pretty kind of basic stuff, but balls that are loose, them loose ones are the ones you got to worry about a lot. One's got actually, looks like maybe a 1-railer as well, but he'll shoot the 2-railer. Little short, I think. It's hit that point right there a lot of times. Knows he could have done some damage if he had got that one down. May have a dead ball there. 15-3. Or is it, excuse me, that's the 7-3. What Josh can really play here. Wouldn't be horrible if he could play the 4 into the 8 some kind of way and stick him on the 7-3 right there. But for me, this like the 4 might stand up and stay right there and give up a shot. So probably pretty passive here. Looking at another kiss shot here and going into the 8 with the cue ball. Pop English helps this one go in. Tell you what, if he plays it with the mild speed, which is the speed he wants to not only make it with, but lay it over the hole, I mean, it really can't go wrong. He's got, coming off the 8 a lot of ways, he's got to go long ways to sell out the 1. He's got to go long ways to sell out the 4. So as long as he went into it with a light speed like that, it really, really was kind of hard to have any big problems, especially with the 10 and 2 covered up. This is that dead one I was talking about that not sure, straight kick shot may do it. It's aimed a little bit towards the short rail. One ball doesn't quite bank, it doesn't appear. One good thing about this type of kick shot is a lot of times when they're near that spot and you're offering a scratch off that ball on the side, but it looks like the 1's got that covered up. You can kind of see kicking 1 rail across coming to the top of the 7. Really kind of sends that cue ball towards the side generally, or can. So at least that's working for you. Looks to me like it's actually a little high, which this would be the wrong side you needed to hit it. Now, if it was aimed real high, you could come off the 4 possibly and kiss the 7 and throw the 3 in. Otherwise, he's still not horrible. These balls are, maybe the 3's playable somehow in a shot or 2, but that keeps heat on. I wouldn't move this 14. I would just make the 13, I believe. Yeah, that actually turned out pretty good, but you want that ball on the low rail that he's got to worry about especially when you're trying to come back in a game. Offers a lot of 2-rail kicks, little 1-rail banks. He's always got to protect against it or move it. So that's not really a worry, especially whenever you're behind. Josh did pretty well with the cue ball, and the ball going on the spot's not going to hurt. Don't really think John has much of an offensive shot at all. Maybe a 3-railer on the 3. I don't think so, though. Certainly can't do much with the cue ball, so probably edge the 2 ball here, maybe. Okay, he's going to 1-rail the 3. So all about the cue ball here because you can see with the 15 in the way, the 3 doesn't really go. Oh, how good. Oh, all right. I thought he really threaded the needle there and wasn't going to make it ever, but could have got Josh in maybe a trapped position. Thing about Josh is you just got to be worried. If he's confident like shooting this 15 and getting the cue ball safe, he's probably going to make it. Not the 15, the 11, excuse me. Sometimes we forget we're playing with the Cyclops here. That's what I mean. If he feels like he can get a good kiss off the 7, if he likes spinning the ball heavy, like kind of like a Bugs Rucker used to do, which is a real heavy spin and throw this ball back and kill this cue ball on the side rail, kind of kick the 11 towards the hole with a lot of spin. I don't think he hits the 7 at all. Now he can level out, maybe run into the top of the 7 and feel like he's going to get safe, but kind of my point is he's going to just bury these a lot on you. So, well, I said the last shot was really all about the cue ball, making sure it's on the side rail, giving Josh no options. Now John has put the 3 in a nice position, because if Josh has got to try and play safe. He's got to get all the way to the bottom rail underneath the 3 not to give up a bank. You looking at double banking the 2 ball and sliding the cue ball over? What a shot that would be. And it looks like it actually lays pretty nice to throw it back a little bit and draw your ball. Got a 3 railer on the 7, maybe he's eyeing up. But this is danger zone. You can see there's enough balls there for John to do some damage. Man, what a nice stroke he put on the cue ball there too. Definitely, if you're confident, that's the way to hit it, drawing the ball back, not leaving a bunch of options down here, leaving the cue ball close to these object balls. Now, looking at possibly the 8-4 combo. I think he shoots that before he shoots a cutback on the 11. Gonna cannon into the 7, maybe cross the 7 towards his hole mildly, maybe go right into it, something like that. Oh, he hit it great. Yeah, he hit it great. May have gotten no reward at all. Doubled up the 2, 11, 8, 7, the 2, 7. He's got to shoot maybe. Oh, how nice did he hit that? Well, it's just, wow, another great stroke with no position reward at all. He may expect to kill the cue ball a little bit more than that. Does he have a billiard on the 2 ball with the kissing off the 3 here, and that swings you for position on the 10? It's close. It's just amazing to me, though, John, how he hits the ball. I played many years ago. I played Cecil Tugwell a few action matches in a few different locations, St. Louis and Kansas City, and maybe one other time. And he played left-handed. He had changed in mid-career, and from what I heard, not because of his choice, but it's incredible to see what he could do after being a champion right-handed and now a champion left-handed. And John Morra, even more so. Not saying it was better or worse or whatever, but John made this decision on his own. Some health reasons as well. I believe his neck is the main concern. He's almost got to play. Wow, this is touchy. This is where you got to feel good about soft rolling and bumping this 15 ball here. Get out of one shot right here. You probably get out of the situation if you're Josh. I think he could shoot maybe the 10 away and follow to the side rail, but I really like him not kick banking. That's just a soft layup kick shot. This is where it looks like to me he's kick banking it. And it's going to give up a shot on the 8. Maybe not the easiest position shot for John if he can't really dig on the cue ball here and draw past the 13. Because the Not sure if the 10 plays or if he can get at the 10, and the 3-2 is not the easiest combination, but he's definitely shooting and not taking any time doing so. This is funny, I think. I think maybe if he draws, he catches the top of the 13, maybe. I don't know. This camera angle tells me he can draw over and beat the 13, but been rolling his ball nice, so wouldn't doubt if he tries to roll and go by the 13 or maybe catches a piece of the 10, maybe opens some balls up. But he played into it, and that's what I would have been worried about if I was going forward with the cue ball. Really now I'm like, phew, you have nothing hardly on your side. Your opponent's got 3 pretty close and 2 more with the 2 and 3 that are really helping him out. It's a kick shot here, ladies and gentlemen, I think, of some sort. Go to moving one of them balls, clipping off of one of them, and don't really get there. Be real problems. 2 rail kick up. Oh, he's 3 rail on the cue ball for safe, maybe. That's going to bounce way too hard. And most likely give up game number 3 and put Josh Filler on the hill. And Josh needs to be in that position if you're talking about survival. The last 2 are going to be conceded. You're going to see Filler exactly where he wants to be, up 2-1 and breaking. So after losing the lag, he's played well enough to put himself in position to break the balls to win the match. I'm Jeremy Jones with Railbirds TV. This is, you can see on your screen coming, a 2020 Derby City Classic 1-pocket division match. It's round 5 with John Morra undefeated to this point. Just as talked about, Filler with 1 loss, I believe it was Scott Frost. A nice hit on that. You could hear those, but you can see the cue ball just climbed pretty well there, actually. If he can't get at this 12 here, this is a little tricky at first glance. Maybe the 4 into the 7. That's not my type of shot that I like very much. Okay, he can get at the 12. So looks to me maybe he's trying to move the 11 with this as well. Kissing the top of the 12 going into the 11. He's looking at something. Just spinning this with a heavy left ball. Maybe using the 11 to snooker him. Ooh. Wow, that was touchy. Great hit, though. That's what you want to do normally if you can't really be aggressive and have a shot. Always trying to put him to where he can't get you back behind the ball so easily. You want to force your opponent's hand to either take a foul to get you back behind the balls, take a little more risky shot like running the cue ball off the 1 a long ways, or what you really want him to do is leave you up table where you can get a look at his pocket, which is probably what's going to happen with Josh here. Should just clip the 1. Cue ball in the end rail. Try and maybe produce the 1 for a bank here in a moment. He's going to try and run him all the way back, I think. Yeah. Ooh, that one really bit. I'll tell you what, it looks like it's going to work out real well for Josh, actually. Not so sure he really wanted to go that far, but I wouldn't doubt it. So now it's a kick shot that John sold out game number 3 with. Very similar here. And this is where I try to bump the 11 off the second rail, I think. He could 3 rail kick is pretty nice also. Kick between the 8 and the 1, and then back between the 8 and the 1 off the 3rd rail, catching the 4th rail behind the 11. Looks like he's trying to go aggressive here. Real careful here with this shot. I'm not sure exactly. Oh, he's just taking it real easy, and I think he gave up a shot on the 12. Not sure why did John, you know, again, he wouldn't label him like always a one pocket player, but he's played it and he's a real crafty young man and pays attention real well. Surprised I didn't see the kick shot, especially he had shot it in the last game, and I know he sold out. Maybe he was frustrated with that and didn't want to do it again, but so it kind of tells me he knew what the shot was, and just kind of this one wasn't bad, just kind of got away from him. So he should want to clear the 11, I would think, pretty soon. Opens up to 6. I don't think the 3 goes. Don't think the 4 or the 15 go. That's the ball just above the 9 there. Looks to me he can drop off the 6 up there to get on the 10. I would wait on that ball, I think. That's what I would look at here. Just how, yeah, there you go. Like, let's see, I think he can get off the 6 into 10 ball, really. So peel the 12 right there with the cue ball. Yeah, exactly. Shoot the 12 and then the 11, or the 11 first, whichever he can hold. Yeah, I would. Oh, the 6 goes? Okay, so you for sure would do that. I thought he had to remove the 11 first to get there. Now he can open up this ball for the 2, I think. I think he can bump the 13 just lightly here, like that. Close. Could have maybe used a little bit more of a rub. Tell you though, if he had gotten on that ball, you could see what was going to happen from here. Probably curtains. I guess he's inspecting to see if the 2 goes by the 10 more than the cue ball goes by the 13 to get at the 2. That's what it appears anyways. I think he'll roll it over that way anyway. I think. Probably wants to shoot it a bit more though. Take a chance of getting out. Still almost made it. Caught a little of the 10, then a lot of the 11. Really still kind of kept the handcuffs on John as far as offensively. John could shoot off the 11 somehow and go forward and make the 2 with the cue ball and possibly wiggle something towards this hole using the 11, but I tell you, I might shoot the 11 into the rail. Yeah, right there. Try to get this 2 out and put the cue ball all the way up in that upper right-hand corner. I think he may send something towards this hole that way as well. I like the looks of that shot. You can hit the 11 pretty full, twist it towards the rail, pull both them balls out. He's going forward, I think, and just making it. But if he doesn't cover up that 13, he's going to give up a shot. Try to make it, and he hit it great. Kind of funny here because he wants to shoot the 10, but no reason to jack up and draw. And if you go forward, you know, it's not horrible. You just bunt some balls away, but you're going to be giving up maybe the first opportunity for Josh because you're pretty straight on this 10. Hard to get up table much. Looking at some type of playable dead ball here. Or does he have enough angle to get up table? Doesn't appear so to me. He's real near this rail, so that's what he's kind of looking at now. What can I really do with this? All things considered, you know, you might 3-rail the 3 ball and stick them on the balls. I doubt it, but because really, if you can't escape this rail right here, the way the balls are laying, may kick into the 9 maybe, I guess. That's not horrible. So roll the 10 and then kick the 9 ball and keep him in the stack, something like that. Well, he's going rail first. He's trying to get some, I think. He's trying to get out here. Very missable ball at this speed. Yeah. that's just nothing to do with John. Just trying to, the ball gotta react just perfect off that rail with a lot of spin. That gave up. Oh, they got lucky there. The 4 ball came right back in a way of what looked like a pretty easy cross corner for John on the 15 ball. Yeah, he could have gone right between the 3 and the 9 with the cue ball. Not much here, it doesn't appear. Maybe shave open the 13 there and run the cue ball back to the rail or behind the 4 maybe, or I think something like that. It doesn't really, I don't really see much. And again, when you go forward like this on balls, is like, oh, maybe he's looking at the 8 and he's not worried about the 4, but it's like to me, Josh Fielder's cutting the 4 ball in from anywhere on that side rail by the 3rd diamond and up, I think. He's got to come short of that 3rd diamond, I think, to keep Josh off this cut. Yeah, Josh is cutting that 4 ball on quickly. So Josh Fielder needs 5 balls here at 2-1, a 2-1 lead over John Morra. It's a 5th round. Don't know if he got anything here besides a combination. He had I think a lot of things he could have done there, so a little surprising. What I was getting at, though, good chance both these guys are going to be going on to the 6th round with 1 loss. You're going to bank the 8 maybe and pinch the cue ball somewhere. Seen him shoot a lot of these like 13, 15 combos from here. Just go ahead and shoot them on in and swing the cue ball. This goes, though. It's got a little alley. That's what I was thinking. He'd shoot this combo probably and stun the cue ball up. Just knowing he's going to hit it well is what he feels like. The 13's going up. Now, the one thing is the 15 could cross if he hit it real thick. 8, if he gets up behind the 8, the 8 should have a pocket once this shot is over with. It should anyways. Just like that, he really just doesn't miss much. I think the 8 has a pocket anyways. That should have cleared it. Now Josh playing for 3. A 9 ball just across for a choice on either the 13 or the 10. Probably the 10 it looks like. So ladies and gentlemen, Josh Fielder is going to advance and remain in this tournament. Both these guys are on to the 6th round. I think they both played great, and I'm sure they're going to play even better. Thank you very much. Jeremy Jones here with Railbirds TV. Have a good night.